If you hear me!
Hello and welcome to our Saturday night's main event recap show. That's right, I'm your humble host, Fraz, and this is... Oh no, hang on, we've got this wrong already, haven't we?
No, you might have got this wrong already.
I'm Dirty Dave, and I'm substituting in as a bit of a host. And with me, I have the true humble host, the real humble host, the voice of the common man, Fraz. Unfortunately, Andy can't be with us this week. He's busy at work, so it's just us two. But last week, as I'm sure you've all watched our prediction show, you will have seen that all three of us gave our predictions to Saturday night's main event. Well, tonight, today, this morning, this afternoon, whenever you're watching, however you're listening, we're going to run through and find out who won the predictions. As Fraz has won 2 in a row, which is absolutely disgusting, and I'm absolutely confident that that's not going to happen again. Or am I? But not only that, we'll touch on a little bit of the matches, as there is just the two of us. Why don't we just have a little bit of extra detail about some of the matches as well? So, Fraz, what do you think about that? And are you excited about today's show? And did you like Saturday night's main event or not?
Well, shall we address the tactical predictions that you and Andy made last week to try and oust me this week?
No idea.
If you haven't seen it, guys, go back and watch both videos. They both fucking tactically voted me out so they could try and win this week's. But that being said, you know, all's fair in love and war. Your question was, did I enjoy Saturday night's main event? Yes, I thought it was very good. Considering it was up against All In. Some people say you can't compare the two. I agree. However, if you're going to put it on at the same time, it's going to be out there for criticism, right? Let me pull up our predictions. Here they are. Do you want me to make that bigger, or is that okay for you?
I would very much like for you to make that bigger, if you wouldn't mind.
Straight up, Naomi. Here we go, straight away.
So, shall we just address the elephant in the room? That was, we only knew 3 matches.
Yeah.
And we predicted that the Intercontinental title match would be added. Now, we were somewhat close. There was a title match added, but it was in fact the United States Championship match. But it was interesting because if you watched our video, we all guessed if that isn't the match, what do we think the match would be? Andy thought there might be a tag title match. Fraz thought that R-Truth would fight Aleister Black. Of course, that happened on SmackDown on Friday. Now, I finally settled on a promo segment, but my first answer was something to do. It was a Bloodline match. So I'm just saying right now that I think I should just get a point for that.
Well, if you're getting a point for that, I'm getting a point for the fact that Ron Killings and Aleister Black match happened. It just happened the night before.
Should we see if this affects the scoreline at the end of the show?
Possibly. Why don't we go for that? So, shall we just run from the top? LA Knight, Seth Rollins. Andy's gone Seth wins with clean pants. You've gone LA Knight, Roman Reigns comes out and distracts Roman Rat. And I have said Seth Rollins with the help of his cronies. Well, me and Andy were both wrong there. You get 1 point for your LA Knight victory. Obviously, this was a huge talking point over the weekend. I forgot to mention on our weekly show, but I did just want to touch on Adam Cole. He's retired now due to several concussions in a short space of time.
Yeah.
You never, doesn't matter if you're tribal or not, if you respect all sorts of wrestling, you never want to see anyone get injured. You never want to see anyone retire. So that was proper sad. And it was, they were both the big talking points of the weekend. Seth's injury and Adam Cole. So yeah, thoughts go out to him. Hope he recovers and has some sort of miraculous comeback at some point. But more to the point, this match.
Just playing devil's advocate on that, there's also a lot of stipulation around both of these injuries that they could both be works. So how interesting would it be that 2 shows that were on at exactly the same time both book a worked injury angle? At least no one's copying each other because you haven't got time. But what are the chances in that?
It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. What did
Clear.
you think of this match, though, Dave?
I think, on a whole, good match. We'll never know how the match. Well, assuming this match ended differently to how it should have. So, assuming Seth was legitimately injured and the end of this match was different to how it was supposed to be, I'm surprised that there was no, not necessarily interference, but I'm just very surprised that Breaker and Reed were not even there. They didn't come out with Seth. They weren't at ringside. Weeks and weeks and weeks. LA Knight has been attacking these guys from behind, jumping the barriers. They've been attacking each other. It's been going crazy. We get to Saturday night's main event. It's just a one-on-one match, which is fine. But they're not even there. They're not. There isn't a segment before. Heyman's not saying, "Look, stay out the back. Seth's got this." There's nothing. I thought that was a bit weird. So I definitely don't think this is finished. I just don't think he's injured. But having said that, good match. I thought they worked quite well together. Can't remember them really working before. It's Seth, as we know, who is quite injury prone, but he did some good stuff. Buckle bomb on LA Knight. There were some really good counters. LA Knight jumping around like there's no tomorrow. It was a good seesaw back and forth match. I really liked it. Interesting finish. And I said on our weekly show, I think the fact that Paul Heyman phoned someone so quickly, that's just got to be a work, isn't it? It's just got to be.
Yeah. I mean, the more, as the days pass, the more you kind of think it is actually a work. But who knows with it? I mean, all I know is that SummerSlam is becoming more and more intriguing as to, what is the truth, what is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that will happen maybe is like WrestleMania, where people were expecting, say, The Rock to come out and didn't. And if people are buying into the fact that this is just a big work and Seth doesn't turn up, then there may be man bags at dawn, and a lot of people disappointed with the fact that he doesn't show up and cash in on Punk, say, or even in the Cena Cody match.
Oh, I mean, everybody's assuming Punk, but that's a very good shout, because if Cody's off to do a film, Cena's got a limited schedule. This could be a way to turn Cena face for the last part of his final run, because he has to. He can't. I've loved him as a heel. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. But realistically, he's not going to retire as a heel, I don't think. It gets Cody Rhodes out of the way for a little bit and gives Cena, like I say, an opportunity to be a face in his last couple of months. So that's a very interesting take, actually. Why does it have to be Punk?
Indeed. And as you'll find out when we do the Evolution recap, that's exactly what Naomi did.
Straight up.
Straight up. So yeah, you get 1 point there.
I will
no
take
bonus
that 1
points,
point.
unfortunately.
No.
But we'll go to the next match, Drew and Randy with Jelly Roll, or Jelly Orton, as you like to call them.
Jelly Orton. They're my favourite tag team.
Drew Paul on the other side of it.
Drew Paul.
I, for one, am super excited if they make this match at SummerSlam. I know it's a bit of a gimmick match with celebrities and stuff, but I think it'll be cool. It's good fun. I like Jelly Roll's music as well. What have we got there? Andy's put no contest or double DQ. Well, he's wrong. You've put Randy and I've put Drew. So you win, and skid mark in his pants, RKO. Is that 2 points? That is 2 points, isn't it?
I said he'd win with the RKO. But the skid mark in the pants means that it wasn't clean, which technically it wasn't, because the Jelly Roll and Logan Paul interference distracted Drew McIntyre, and then boom, RKO.
Okay,
So I will definitely fight for that point.
I will give you that point.
Thank you.
I will give you that point.
I'm very happy with that. And I think you went with Drew, didn't you? Because you thought Randy would hesitate on the punt. But then, of course, at this point, we didn't know about SmackDown, and we didn't know about the outside extracurricular activity. We didn't know about Logan Paul, and we didn't know about Jelly Roll. So
No.
I think just on the match itself, it was actually the opening match. I really liked it. The crowd was super into it. It was quite an old school match. It was I wouldn't say slow as in a plodding match because it was action all the way through, but it had a slower pace to it. Everything was deliberate. Every clothesline was important. Every punch was important. We weren't stomping. We were selling every single boot and every single punch. So bear in mind, Saturday night's main event is a retro show. I didn't mind that. It did sort of remind me a little bit of his dad, Bob Orton. But yeah, it was not a plodding match by any stretch of the imagination. So definitely watch it if you haven't. You won't be disappointed. Randy Orton again, awesome performance, and great to see Drew McIntyre back. And what we think will now be a tag match. I mean, that's a high profile match at SummerSlam, isn't it?
It is indeed. The only thing I will say is I do want Drew to get in the title picture sooner rather than later. But we have to wait and see. There has been talks of him and Cena and how cool that would be. With Cena in his current character, and Drew McIntyre at the moment is the king of social media.
Yep.
That just adds another dimension to his character. But in the arenas and on the mic, he's amazing. He's great in ring. I just think that he needs to be, pushed to the top of the card sooner rather than later.
No, I agree with that, and I think there's, like you say, there's multiple ways that could happen if Punk wins against Gunther, even if Punk doesn't win, because if Gunther turns face, which on Raw he sort of almost was, then Drew could fight him. So yeah, there's lots of possibilities, and of course there's a draft coming up as well. So who knows? The landscape will all change by September.
Very soon, yeah.
Yeah, SummerSlam was really the end of the beginning and the beginning of the end, really.
So that leads us on to Gunther and Goldberg, which all three of us got a point for that. But
well done.
Got a bonus point with the method of victory, which was a sleeper.
I said he's going to put him to sleep? Because I said
And
the match would put us to sleep.
Not only that, much to Andy's disgust, but Bret Hart has been all over social media following that because Goldberg decided to do a little farewell speech and it got cut short. And everyone's saying it's Bret Hart. Which I thought was hilarious. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I did feel bad for him. I watched him on the Ariel Helwani show, and he was basically just sort of saying they wouldn't have done that to Cena, they wouldn't have done that to Taker. He's, left a bit of a bad taste in his mouth. And to be fair, it's, what is a couple of minutes for him talking? They could have ended the match a bit earlier, but still, he didn't look bad, did he?
He didn't look bad.
He looked good for 58.
Just over 15 minutes, his longest match in over 18 years, I think, or something like that. He didn't look bad at all. He clearly has a bit of a problem with his knee and a bit of a problem with his shoulder, but they just work around that. Yeah. He did everything you'd expect him to do. He took more than I think we expected him to take. It didn't bother me at all. I thought for what it was a good match.
Yeah.
It's too hard. It's too hard hitting guys that are just going to hit each other hard until someone loses. It's not going to be hurricane runners and dives over the top rope, and it's just not, and that's fine. It doesn't always have to be. We're going to go back and watch this match 100 times. No, but for a certainly for a YouTube show, that was well above what you could have what anyone could expect from Goldberg, to be perfectly honest. And, actually probably looking back at it now, it could have been a SummerSlam match because, in recent years, people have been up and down about Goldberg, haven't they? They boo him when he comes back, boring Berg and all that sort of stuff. But actually, that could have easily been a SummerSlam match.
Yeah, and there was a couple of good spots. I like it when he Gunther chopped him and there was no reaction.
Yep.
And the spear through the barricade was good as well.
And the spear on Little Nate.
Yeah, and the spear on Little Nate, who has cracked his rib, hasn't he?
Cracked his rib, yeah. I mean, I wonder if Cena really cracked his rib, but they just waited for Goldberg to blame it on him.
Yeah, possibly.
There's a meme of Bret Hart as like a doctor pointing towards an X-ray of the broken rib, and it just says Goldberg. Done it again.
Excellent.
Bill Goldberg. But yeah, so
good.
As we didn't get any points for the Dom and AJ match because that didn't happen, and as technically none of the bottom three secondary prediction matches happened, are you happy to draw? Are you happy to say? I mean, we have a joint last position. Some people might say joint second, but I think in this situation, joint last sounds a lot better. So that's Fraz and Andy both have 1 point each. Well done. And I think, yep, I'll just hang on. Yes, I've won on 5 points. So isn't that great, everybody? So we've put an end to this tirade of Fraz winning on the bounce here. The reign of Youssef is over for prediction shows, and we're going to steamroll into Evolution and see if you can reclaim your crown, or am I being far too cocky and confident?
I think you might be closer than you think in terms of winning Evolution. However, I will take my losses gracefully. It's not that I think you and Andy are cheating bastards.
What?
And
clearly not, because Andy only got 1 point as well. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're being honest, the Seth and LA Knight match was, cut short. Shouldn't even be included in there. You've basically put skid marks in his pants, which should.
I didn't. You wrote that.
Results.
You wrote.
No, I'm just repeating what you said. It wasn't a clean
I said
win,
unclean finish.
Skid marks in the pants.
But he'll pin
anyone
with an
knows
RKO.
that that's what it means. But anyway, you've won. Congratulations, commiserations to me and Mr. Nero. And yes, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for the recap show. Please watch our weekly show, which is going to drop tonight, and also the Evolution recap show. And we've also got our new Hot Takes video coming out this weekend as well.
Yes.
So, again, thank you very much. Congratulations, David. And we'll catch you all on the next one.
I am the champion, my friend. Down.
Fucking cheater.